be on TV is like such like an outlandish. So me, it's been reckoning like whether it's like actually doable, even though I've gotten close already and expanded myself in another world. So my reason that I was deserving was because, I mean, it's kind of like if someone else can do it, why can't I? It was like, you can do it just as much as anyone else. And kind of trusting that I have the training, trusting I'm worth doing it, and that I've worked really hard, and that it doesn't, why wouldn't I, you know?
Totally. Yeah, like also how many lives do you get to try this?
Yeah.
One. Really short answer. Okay, who else has deservingness? Why was your best friend deserving? Jerry, go for it.
I'm calling in some of my first clients for a new, am I echoing? Is that just me? Or is it
It does sound kind of like an echo. Sarah, I wonder if you mute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. Now try, yeah.
I'm calling in some of my first clients for a marketing coaching business for solopreneurs and wellness practitioners. And one of the reasons why is that I'm completely qualified and competent and able. And that just felt good to remind myself of. Like, I was a growth marketing director. I've launched multiple startups. Like, why wouldn't I do this thing? I have all the experience necessary to help others do the same.
And probably there's so many people that need that help.
Yeah.
Who else is a deservingness one? Shelb?
Yeah, I don't know, I was struggling with this, with the money stuff. I think that I just think that, I mean, the reason why I care a lot about money right now is because I don't want to have to think about medical bills. And I'm dealing with an autoimmune disease, which is new. And I think that I have this like fucked up belief that I like deserve to somewhat struggle because I've like done fucked up things in my past.
Yeah, that's a
So that came up.
Self-punishment.
Yeah.
It's as old as being a woman, literally, because we pulled that apple from the tree and then the society fell from grace. So, I mean, that's just like an old Bible template to reprogram. Yeah. And I'm sure there's some real stuff that happened, but I know a lot of people who have done a lot of bad shit who still live and breathe the best air and eat the best food every day, and they could care less what they did on Tuesday last week.
Yeah.
Anyone else on deservingness? Sophia, go for it.
I don't know why I'm like nervous to share, but this but I want to share. I think that for me, what came up is that I'm in a relatively new relationship. It's been like 4 months now, 3-4 months, and I've been feeling kind of more of a distance between us, like just less connection, and I've been spending a lot of time being like, you're wrong, like just don't, it's not right what you're feeling. And so you know, I think what I would love is just to manifest, just for me to feel more secure and safe and more emotionally connected to him. And so what I would tell the best friend, the version of me, I would just say, I think because I'm not quote unquote like, I feel too much, I'm not perfect for him, you know. And I would just say, I'm perfect as I am. He's lucky, you know, to be with me, or with my best friend.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes. The reason I do it this way for women, I noticed, it's really hard for us to talk to ourselves and give ourselves something that we need. So when I help women reprogram their beliefs, I always have them do it on other women, because it's way easier for us to give that love to someone else. So for example, if you have body shame, I will make you go out and bless every woman's body of every shape and size, because that self-critical voice is like, it's critical of you and probably other people too. So you just need to release that energy by sending good energy to other people. Does that make sense? Men don't have the same thing. They can externalize really easily. So with that, these are a lot of good, deserving reasons as to why. But if you ever need to like self-talk, give yourself a sexy body double who you can tell the things that you need to hear yourself, and remind yourself why it's actually possible. So right now I want to go into a reprogramming exercise with a program I wrote just for safety and freedom. It's mostly about love and money, which I think as a psychic, pretty much everybody comes to me asking how they can find love or money. So it seems to be a very common problem. And I think what we have to understand, like what I learned in an ayahuasca journey, is just how ridiculous it is to even think that those two things come in scarce supply. I was shown the trees in upstate New York where there were just like literally an infinite number of fruit trees available to me, more than my eyes could possibly like encapsulate in one vision. And so it was like, cool, if you like lost your job and lost your relationship and lost your home, like you definitely could sleep under this tree and eat an infinite amount of food. Like it's just not a possibility that you would go hungry, you know? The earth provides it like endlessly. There's food and fruit everywhere. And then when it comes to love, it just is like, love is all that is. Like it just is the source of everything. You know, God is love, your friend is love, you're love, like all that's the frequency of your spirit. So it's an impossibility that it would come in short supply. But we place all of these separation programs on each other because when we incarnate into the body, all of a sudden we are separate. We are separate from source, we're separate from each other, as opposed to the nature of being a spirit, which is access to infinite everything, you know, infinite consciousness, infinite supply, infinite, you know, feeling, whatever you want to do on the astral plane, it's possible. And so one of the things that rationalizes this awkward state of having a physical body for us is this judgment and separation and hierarchy paradigm that we live in. It's just like seeing that your nose is different from your eyeballs, or like seeing that that guy is different from you, but on a soul level, you're always connected. Does that resonate for people? Did I explain that in a way that makes sense? Raise your hand. Or does anyone have a question? So what we have to reprogram is this idea that it's safe to give and receive love and abundance from this physical body in a way that's flowing and infinite and doesn't feel like it comes from a place of fear. Does that make sense? And there's the reality of like 1 million past lives that we've lived where we've been burned, robbed, we've been thieves ourselves, we've been jailed, we've been everybody has one of these experiences. So when we judge other people, really we're calling up the sensation of shadow that we remember from a past life. So we don't want to identify with that person because in a way that will keep us separate as far away as possible of that inner knowing that at some point we've been a thief. Or at some point we've been and maybe this is hard to like internalize and rationalize, but this is just what I've come to learn from past life study and my own journeys. We separate ourselves from others because we're afraid of identifying or being seen or known as that thing that we knew that we were once. Does that make sense? So you can forgive your parents now because I know that at some point you were as bad or worse than they were in some other life. And your parents are here to give you the most transformational experience you could possibly have. So they'll throw you way down so you could just like really rise the fuck up, if that makes sense. Okay, cool. I'm going to take you into a guided meditation and then let you go as close to 6. This will take 10 minutes. And this program is called It's Safe to Give and Receive Love. All right. Close your eyes and get comfortable and relaxed. And when everybody's eyes are closed, I will get it started. Great. Once your eyes are closed, I want you to just take a deep breath into the belly, feeling your feet flat on the floor. And I want you to just call up a memory of yourself as a child. Whatever comes up, any age, prior to the age of 15, where you seem innocent, playful, fun. You're not aware of all the drama that's about to happen to you in life. And once you have this image of you in childhood, I want you to find yourself sitting across from this version of you. And I want you to tell this version that it is safe to give and receive love. And I want you to see this version of you just growing up in the experience of it being super safe to give and receive love, whatever that means. I also want you to tell this version of you that it's safe to say no and walk away when it feels unsafe. It is safe to have healthy boundaries. It is also safe to feel free and sexy in your body. It is safe to feel and express your anger. It is safe to feel your fear and tell others what you're afraid of. All of these emotions inform you that something should be done. It is safe to be silly, to laugh, to relax and have play. It is safe to slow down and enjoy the fruits of your labor and enjoy life's beauty and the story of your life. It is safe to have anything your body desires to have. And I want you to see this child receiving from their parents anything they desire. However that looks for you. See your parents being so proud to give you exactly what you want. See this little child empowered, setting up the plan to execute, to receive whatever it is they desire. And then just immediately getting it as soon as they set up the plan. Telling this child that it is safe to feel fully supported by life, fully supported by your community, fully supported by your partner, by your parents. Really feeling that sensation of support. Seeing this little child just getting all the support that they needed in order to be successful. And then I want you to tell this little child that it's safe for them to share their work with the world. Seeing this little child get on stage and share whatever it is that they're so proud of, and seeing their parents beam back at them, so proud of everything that they do. telling this little child that every single thing you create is brilliant and valuable and worthy of money. Telling this little child that it is safe to feel supported by money. That it is safe to receive large sums of money for your work. It's even safe to receive money while you sleep. It is safe and even enjoyable for just being responsible for coming up with good ideas and having other people fully support you in your ideas. It is safe to be successful. It is safe to be powerful and use your voice powerfully. It is safe to take great care of your health and your future with your healthcare and your finances. It is safe to have fun while learning to improve and learning new skills. It is safe to live in complete overflow, money coming in easily, having more than enough. It is safe to exist in peace and joy, overflow, abundance, ease, and comfort. It is safe to have wonderful, loving friendships where everyone inspires the other. And no matter what I've done in the past, I'm always employable, I'm always worthy of money, I'm always lovable, and I'm always still deserving of the income I desire, the serenity I desire, the freedom I desire, and the creative space to do what I love with the friendships that I find good and healthy to light me up, and the loving relationships that support me in all that I do. Letting that resonate and sink in. Feeling that feeling of support, possibility, and freedom. And with that, I'll have you open your eyes and come back to the room. And if anyone has anything they'd like to share, feel free to raise your hand. Does anyone have something that came up in the meditation that you'd like to add to the circle? If not, go ahead, Vanessa.
Okay. Well, I saw myself when I was in second grade playing Annie. I was the lead.
Nice.
It was my acting debut and finale. But I realized like I didn't have the full support of my family when I did that, and it really cast a shadow over my like future goals in that regard. Yeah. So
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I think a lot of us felt that way. Anybody else want to share from what came up? Your little child that needed all that support. Oh, go ahead. Sarah Bishop.
Wrong button. Okay. I think the idea of like feeling safe to receive is really important because somewhere along the way there's like entangled fears with things that I want. They're very clear blocks. And I think sometimes I get overwhelmed by the number of them. Like I can see them now. I know where they're at, but I don't know what to do with them. And I'm realizing a lot of it is self-sabotage out of fear. And part of me just wants to just just stop feeling that way, just like knock it off. But then it's like to approach it from a child and be like, it's safe. Like, you can have this. This is okay. And kind of kindly like coaxing. I mean, Lacey's work is like, it's a little bit more like you have to go there and then you connect it to this, as opposed to like leading the whole thing through as like everything is included and it's all safe. So that that felt nice to connect everything. And the thing that came up for me was like, I started to cry a little bit around success. Like, it's safe to have success. And I think I got patterned out of fear for other people's success, and how, we see like crazy people, poor Britney Spears, like, look what happened to her. Like, there's a lot of people, or people that I worked with, that were like, oh, I keep struggling as an artist and it's never, and when I started wanting those things, that happened at the same time. So kind of being like, it's safe, it doesn't have to be that way. It's better.
So I started my career as a journalist. I worked at CNN and ABC, and I think that's where I really started to pick up on the power of programming and how latent messages are being given to us all day long. And so it's really important to know that these ideas of what's possible for us come from a societal level. Like, a lot of us see rich people totally strewn across the media with drug problems and like, oh, look, they went bankrupt, because that's what sells papers. And we've seen the fall and the demise of so many superstars but mostly we don't really read about stories of boring stars. And I think it's funny, like, I don't know if you guys remember who Enya is. Enya, like one of the most famous like spiritual songsters of the 90s. She just like quietly, casually lives in her $90 million castle in Ireland and like doesn't go outside but once every 3 years. But like, you don't read about that story. And she has like 17 cats. But so like, she also only had like really one hit album, she's not like a super prolific star. She just like really cashed in and banked it and was like, I'm gonna just live in solitude. So if there's, and I'll send you an article of the Forbes list, which I wrote about like breaking it down, the Forbes list of women who have made it past the multimillionaire and billionaire mark. I find it so interesting because like 80% of them are artists. And I'll share that with the group. So cool. Does anyone have anything else to add before I sort of wrap it up? I don't want to keep you guys since it's Friday. No? So I'm all about simplifying and optimizing. And I think that my approach to this is, as I shared before, but another thing I'll add as a pro tip is raising your vibe is the easiest hack to manifesting more quickly. And raising your vibe, I think simply is like write a gratitude list before bed every night. Your subconscious mind is like primed for programming. So noticing what you're grateful for, because the state of lack is thinking like that thing outside of me is going to make me happier. And that's like basically spiritual one-on-one. You want to like get out of that frame of mind that like that thing outside of you is going to make you happier. Notice that with a gratitude list, you can cultivate those feelings of safety, security, freedom, appreciation. And with that gratitude list, you can add in your manifestations at night before bed as if they've already happened and watch them come in quicker. And then the other thing I do is just dance. Like, I'll put on some really high vibe music. I create a playlist specifically if it's like something that I really want. That will remind me and trigger me like to get in the mode of like, oh yeah, this is exciting. This is happening. And with that joy pumping out towards the thing that you're calling in, it comes in more quickly. You're just sort of like creating a quicker pathway because spirit resonates at this higher vibe of like love and joy. So if you're like humdrum, never gonna happen. I'm even kind of angry about the fact that I haven't gotten that money yet, and I'm pretty frustrated that I still am looking around and the evidence shows me that there's no money. So your brain actually is programmed and hardwired for negative bias. It's looking around for like all the shitty things in your life so that you can be kept safe. Because it's like, don't eat that, he's not safe, don't go there. So that you literally are like, stay alive in the body, you know? So in order to rewire that, one of the most powerful things I found is just like throw on a playlist for 5 minutes, dance while you're thinking about the thing, get super excited and be like, woo, it's on its way. And it's like the confident knowing of like, it's on its way. You know, don't be the person who's like checks their bills every day and is like, oh, see, it's not working. Like, that's not evidence that it's not working. It's just like, it's coming. There's like a detox process where like the old stuff has to sort of conjure out of your field, and that could look like a bunch of blow-ups. And then you'll sort of hit a clearing, which Lacey calls the magic dark, and then you'll like find that it comes through after that, if that makes sense. It's totally like a detox. It's like old beliefs have to come out. So you might notice that things that you believe will be reflected by people and patterns in your daily life that start to really annoy you. And then once those are cleared, you're at a new level and that it can come through. Does that make sense? Okay, y'all, thank you for staying an extra half hour. Thank you for tolerating my unruly pit bull and his heavy breathing. Is there anything else that anybody wants to share? If you guys want to stick around and just like share quickly, like this is what I'm manifesting, so we all know about it. I totally believe in the power of like, oh, I can get you that, or oh, I know someone who can help you with that. So if you want to, I would love to do a round, but if you have to go, I totally get it. Kate, do you want to go first? And if you don't want to share, no worries.
Yeah, I can go. So I am manifesting abundance so that I can expand my house and have enough room for my 4th baby that's due on November 11th. And I manifested him or her by saying if I'm going to have a 4th baby, I need to have him or her before I turn 40. And I turned 40 on December 1st. Baby is due November 11th.
That's a really good manifestation. But Kate, you've had 3 babies, so it's like to you that is so possible for you. That baby was like, oh yeah, that's believable. I'm coming. I got you. Awesome. Who else wants to share their manifestation? Sarah, go for it.
I kind of want to do, I have a lot. So I'm like, thank you for clarifying that this is going to be bumpy because there's a lot of shit I want. One of which is I'm kind of deciphering the manifestation. I need a new place to live, but I want it to be wonderful, but then also I want to cut my overhead. So I want to invest more money in like expanding my business. And another thing is voiceover work, taking control of that. And then educating myself to create better quality content so I have more control of putting out my songs and my stuff. So
awesome. You've got some social media people in the house. So who else to share? Who wants to? And if you want to drop your like Instagram so y'all can stay connected or like help each other out, you can drop it in the comment box. Who else? Chloe, go for it.
Sure. Okay. Hey. So some of the, I guess like the big thing is, I think just like calling in more creative projects and just making more space for that in my life without like having to like figure anything out or like figure anything out or define anything, but just like making space for that and just doing it. So it's really fun to just use that part of my head a little bit more. And it's weird. A few months ago, I was like, all right, I'm calling definitely in a relationship. And I called in a relationship and it totally broke all these patterns of other people I'd been calling, like people I'd attracted in the past. So that felt really good to just shift that for me. And it's something I want. So it's weird. It's definitely like on my list, but right now it's just like not actually top of my like mind. And it's weird. I feel like this weird calm about it. So it's something I definitely want, but like right now my head's like elsewhere, and it's this weird feeling like there's part of it's like, I don't know. I feel like I was more focused on it before, and I'm not. And it's still like, it's just this quiet thing that's like, I want it, but I'm also like totally fine, like really being excited about other things right now. So just kind of leaning into that and not having judgment and just like letting it flow a little bit, if that makes sense.
I bet feeling deserving in one area will allow the other area to be very easy as well.
Yeah. Thanks for
Thanks,
listening.
Chloe. Anyone else want to share their manifestation to the group? Go ahead, Vanessa.
Yeah, my rabbit was demanding to be seen. Here she is. Hi, Bun. She's like super excited. Your dog's like, yes.
I know.
Actually, I really want a dog for her, and for me, but for her too. So I guess like the big thing that I'm working on, and I want it to come in like this month, like it's time. I feel it coming too. I don't know if I hope it's this month. Funds I think we need $20,000 to put the first underwater piece in Jamaica at the fish sanctuary, where I'm creating the first underwater art exhibition made of all ocean friendly materials for corals to take over.
That's amazing.
It's so exciting, and it's really great. And my personal finances has been like a major block for the project.
Yes.
So I really want that to resolve this month, so then that money can come in and we can put the piece in by the end of the year.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing. Katie Shepherd?
Sure. I have two really. One we've talked about before. I really want to finish a book length project.
Yeah.
I'm like halfway there, have an agent and all that stuff. So just trying to finish it and find the right, publisher.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think like the pandemic has really made me aware. Whereas before I felt like, oh, I need to really focus on my career, and I've been so focused on men and how to figure out that relationship. And so I'm going to like put my head down and get some career gains. But now actually I feel like, even though it's like, of course it happens when you can't do anything with anyone, but I do feel a lot more open to the possibility of a partner in a way that I feel like even 6 months ago was like Everest. So. Yeah.
Got it. Great one to share with the group. Anybody else? Maura, cool.
So I'm like, where do I begin? I was working in documentary last fall and into the winter, and I didn't snap, but it just really all clicked and came together one day that like I had to leave my job. And I was going to move to LA because I want to work in the narrative film industry. And ever since December, I've been trying to manifest a job in the narrative film industry. I would love to be a director's assistant, because ideally I want to work my way up to being a director and a writer. And that's really just the number one thing that I'm calling in. And before, when we were like, tell your best friend why she doesn't deserve it, what kept popping up for me was you're just not meant for it. Like, you're not meant to do it. And I think I really have to work through that, because I think I almost, at this point, I've like given so much up to the universe that I'm like, the universe is just going to take whatever and give me whatever I'm meant to do. And like, I don't have any control over it, or like I don't get to actually have what it is that I really, really want, because it's just not meant for me. So really just want, at this point, just a creative job in the film industry, just also so I can have some security and like maybe a place to live. So that's really
sure. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I also think that we confuse destiny with being this like ominous, like boomstick that gets in our way and is like, oh, I guess it's just not my destiny. there are people who try 100 times and get it on the 101st time. That's how Jack Canfield produced his book, Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul. He literally went to like 100 publishers and then circled back to the first one he pitched a year later, and he actually took it. And now Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul is like the book's second sold to the Bible or something. It's like the biggest industry seller.
Mm-hmm.
I know, it's a fun fact. Who else didn't get to share that wants to drop their manifestation in? Jerry, go for it.
Hi. Yeah, so I already shared a little bit, but on the marketing coaching thing, I'm gonna go out with, I think, 2 different offerings. So I had a reading with Megan the other week, and to her point, she's like, as a human design manifester, you're sort of meant to like share and then move on instead of like be completely in the wheel of the process. So looking at sort of a 6-week course to coach people, to empower them to be their own lean resource marketing team with scrappy tools and resources to just get it done with growth as the mindset. So I'm hoping to get my first 3 clients within the next month. So if anybody knows of any communities or networks or anything that I should be following, I'd love to hear.
Beautiful. And so it is. Let it be so. Awesome. All right. Perfect. I think that was everyone. Or Sophia, did you go?
I think I shared a little before, but can I just state real quick? I had like a little
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to manifest to feeling secure, safe, and peaceful in my relationship.
Amazing. Yes. You can manifest feelings. I actually find that's like the best thing to go for, because then the things start coming in behind it. Perfect. Thank you to Chloe and Sophia and Jerry. You guys are all in the Intuitive Alignment Academy, which starts on Friday next week, where we'll be going deeper into these concepts, and we'll be talking about all things psychic. There are many others of you. Apparently, I've worked with most of you in the past, which is awesome to have you guys here. Make sure to write down your manifestation list today and write down why the feelings that you're trying to create with that. And I would create a playlist and dance it out and see what happens. And maybe next month we'll report back and just share what we all brought in. And for me, what I'm trying to manifest is peace in my home and a car. I would really love a car to be able to bring him to the beach as well. And I have my eyes on an Audi Quattro, which is kind of a stretch, but who knows? I will just put it out there and see what happens. You don't care what kind of car it is, right? You just want to get to the beach. Thank you guys so much. I totally appreciate it. I also have no concept of time. I didn't promise that. Please follow up. I know I totally need art on my walls too. Like, I moved in and lost my job and started my business. So it sort of was like, okay, just run. But I will say, what was I going to say? Oh, I'll share a link to all the things. If you guys are interested in the Intuitive Alignment Academy or joining the Facebook group, probably most of you guys are in there. And I recorded this as well. Actually, what I'll do is send an email out afterwards with all the links, and I'll send you guys the recording. How's that?
Thank
Cool.
you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great Friday.
Bye.
Bye.